Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Rep My Block Show. I'm your girl, KeyIce, and this is my co-host.
Grandmaster Bass Monstar. What's up, y'all? What's going on?
Not much. It was a interesting week. How was your week this week?
My segue has been full of character developments. My students are coming up on their recitals. I got about 3 groups of students coming up on their recitals. So we just been drilling and just grinding, working hard to level up and just be ready for the showcases.
That's what's up.
How
That's
about
good
you?
to
How's your
hear.
segue?
Still trying to get over something, but doing well. Thanks for asking. We have a very special guest on the show today, and I'm not going to do a big intro because we're going to let him introduce himself, but we will definitely just say that he's doing some major things in urban entertainment right now, and we are very honored to have him on the show. Please welcome Mr. Charles Leshore of Leshore Network. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being so kind. Like she said, my name is Charles Leshore of Leisure Network. Leisure Network is an AVOD. It's similar to Tubi. It's free. It's ran by Title Sponsorship Revenue. It's a Black new network out of Atlanta. Uh, I am a broadcaster and I'm also a programmer. I work through a technology company called Tulix Systems. It's right next to Georgia Tech. We specialize in Wi-Fi and internet. We are a network because I can build out as many channels as needed. If those that are interested in purchasing a channel, you can be free to contact me at info@leisurenetwork.com,
Okay.
and I'll get back to you. But that's what we're pretty much about. We have a new Black network here in Atlanta, because it takes 90 days to get on Tubi. It's sad. It's 90 days once you submit it. I can put you on TV within an hour or less. You understand? With
Wow,
thumbnails,
that's amazing.
yeah. Um, I was thinking about something.
Uh-huh.
The rat that gets caught, right, don't realize the cheese is free. Did you catch
Mm.
that?
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what
Bars,
we do is
bars.
we use the social media platforms to drive the traffic to monetize ourselves,
Okay.
through the sponsorships.
Right. And that's what's amazing about. I mean, just the fact that you have this highly specialized expertise. And I apologize for saying the company name wrong. When I see it separated, it makes me say it a little different. But thanks for that correction. But that's really amazing because as you indicated, like some, I guess, the more major networks, they make it seem, like it's such a huge deal, like it's so hard. I mean, it is a huge deal, but they make it seem a lot more, complicated, as far as like the timeline of events. But that's amazing that you're able to do that, and in that amount of time, and it's very rare. How, as far as the technicalities of it, about like what percent of the industry would you say even knows how to do that type of thing?
I was in the mall the other day.
Hmm.
Everyone watches TV, but everyone does not program TV. And I want to say this before we go any further. It was God. I'm a Christian, so I really believe in God. You know what I'm saying? In Christ.
Yes.
3 years ago, I started with a hedge fund, EEI here in Atlanta, and True Source Funding. And we talked about developing broadcasting. I was working with Young Jock from Love and Hip Hop. Um, he has something called Mastermind. It never took up off the ground yet. So what I decided to do was I worked with several other networks. I worked with ILS, I worked with DTN, I worked with Uscreen from YouTube, and I took all that information and I connected with the vice president of Tulix Systems, which they specialize in internet and Wi-Fi, and I learned how to be a programmer and a channel developer. So I could develop as many channels just like Viacom. In the community, what I found was that we need more channels. You understand? Podcast channels. You understand that we can reach the world broadly, and you can monetize yourself. You don't have to have someone else getting money from the work that you put in, or you're not getting the money that you should be getting. So
Yes.
I found that by 2030, there's going to be more channels out there than you can imagine, because everything today, cable is gone pretty much. Everything's based on Wi-Fi and internet. That's what I specialize in.
Yeah, it really is too. It really is. And I mean, as far as the actual content, because first of all, you have a amazing website. I've been checking out some of the content there. I was like, okay. I mean, I saw you have like, okay, as far as choosing the content, let's start there. How do you go about like just choosing what content you would like on your network?
Well, it's a non-exclusive broadcasting licensing content,
Okay.
meaning that I don't want to own anything. If I can help promote your content, and Hula or Freevee or some other platform picks it up, because I work with Esquire, which is the law firm in Roswell, that once we start to do the analytics through summary stats, the stat counter, there are people that looking at how your content is doing,
Okay.
as well as the excuse me, as well as the profit the profit margin for the sponsorships, you know. But that's how we pretty much, and I'm so open, I'll be honest with you. There are people that the only place they have to go is YouTube, you know, uh,
Yeah.
that they're welcome to come here right now. Right now, Tubi normally charges, I think, 5,800 for A&O insurance policy, for copyright infringements. Here, what we do is all are welcome, whether it's short films. We're the new network here in Atlanta. Um, we will be monetizing, where I think a lot of the companies pay people $6 on every 1,000 hits. I'm looking at paying, once the sponsors come in, $10 for certain people. You understand? For 1,000 hits, if you get 1,000,000 hits, that's $100,000. You could do that in 1 month with me.
That's amazing.
So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at, you know what? Taraji said something. This is what I want to say. Taraji was upset because she didn't make the money that she should get, right?
Yeah.
I wish there were more professional actors and actresses that would actually take on learning about broadcasting, like what
Yeah,
we're doing here today, and what you guys are doing also. I commend you on what you're doing as well, because we all broadcasters,
Thank you.
yeah.
Um,
Thank you.
you can write your own. We can write our own paychecks, guys. We can definitely write our own paychecks. But the one thing I want to tell you, you just can't give up. You
Right.
just,
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't tell you how much sacrificing I do. I have a few investors that help me out, friends, business partners. But
Hmm.
listen, when you spend your own money, you're going to go harder. If
Oh
you're
yeah,
looking for
for sure.
something free, you're not going to go as hard.
Right. I agree
Yeah,
with that for sure.
yeah, I've heard that from multiple friends. I study languages, and one thing a friend of mine told me was, well, one of the thing I told her was like, I was like, why don't you just download an app and learn the language by yourself? And she was saying like, she just didn't have the discipline for that, and I didn't understand what she meant until she explained it. She was like, if I pay for someone to teach me, I'm gonna make sure I show up for class and stuff. For me, I was just like, I didn't get it, because I was like, if you download the app, that's enough motivation right there. But it's like you said, when people pay for something, they are way more motivated and inspired to keep up with that payment. To keep up with the value of what they put out. $5 means a lot more to people than, oh, okay, well, I can download the app for free and just do what I want to do. Then that's not gonna motivate you as much as like, oh yeah, I just paid these people $500 for this curriculum, and I ain't even been showing up. Like that's not as motivational to some. To each
Right.
his own. You really got to learn who you are as far as your discipline goes, to kind of see which card to play. I just wanted to say, man, I absolutely love the network. I was checking it out earlier, and one of the first movies that I ran into, because it was like movies, and that completely blew me away. I was like, okay, there's movies on here. This is fun. This is like a real like network. Like I feel like I'm watching cable right now. Like you mentioned, like how cable
Exactly.
is phasing out, and I always tell people that the TV is no longer just in the living room now. Now it's in your phone. Now it's on your laptop. You can take your TV anywhere and influence your channels more personally. So I was taking a look at it, and I was just like, wow, the web design, everything is just it's phenomenal. It's like I think I clicked on Motor City Living because I'm from Detroit. So I
Yes.
saw I saw that thumbnail, and I was like, okay, hold on, something going down in my city. Let me see.
Yeah.
And it was pretty dope. I really liked the way that people were shooting it and stuff, and it just like it gives different people a chance to get out and be actors and be producers and be developers of something, without having to reach out to, a Lions Gate, or like just feeling like there's no end to the crowd because the barrier for entry is like it costs too much. You had mentioned about how like your uh, your barrier for entry is not as steep as others.
Right.
So I was just enjoying that part of the of watching the Leisure Network, and I like the name too. I like how you bounced off of your last name to create
Yes.
Thank
the
you. Thank
network.
you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. I didn't know if you had did that on purpose, but I definitely was like, let me bring that up.
Oh
Thank you.
Um,
yeah.
That's smart that you saw that.
Dope, dope. Yeah, I was watching Motor City Living, and I went to go look at some other networks, and it immediately popped down into a picture in picture, and I was like, now that is smart, because
Yeah, I
I
like
didn't
that.
want to, yeah, I didn't want to stop watching, but I wanted to like see what else was going on. So like having that really made it feel like I was watching TV, because I don't know if y'all remember back in the day when you used to have like Comcast, and you hit the button, and then it bring up the guide, but the picture in picture would be up there while you scroll through the channels, or
Right.
while you scroll through the channels. And that really reminded me of that. I was like, okay, now this, I can smell something working right here. This is cooking for real. I did want to ask, like, how do you go about finding people, or like how do you go about finding different projects for people? Like, do how do y'all work with advertising and marketing?
Well, I'll tell you, I have some interns, right? And I do a lot of marketing myself. Um, what happens is we get people that want to be a part of what we're doing. That's how I'm able to weed out who's serious and who's not. Everybody plays a different part. Good Shooter, Sierra's ex-husband from Love and Hip Hop. He's in the movie Dirty Game and Dirty Game 2 with Gravy. I work with those guys. Actually, Good Shooter is my influencer. And
Okay.
this is how we reach out to people, because this isn't about me. This is about changing the lives of my community and those that want to join my community. When you're marketing something, you can't market all over the place. You have to find a niche. I like hood movies. You know, I feel that, listen, the signal acquisition is the final play out, meaning what you're watching. We're on Roku, we're on Amazon Fire Stick. When you look at it, it looks just like Tubi or Netflix or any of the other platforms.
Yeah.
Website, once I gain money, we get the money that we need, I could always go back and redesign the website, search engines, trailers. That stuff is eye candy, which is cool. For me, it's the final performance. You understand? The signal distribution of when you look at it, right? It's just like watching any other network. And
Yeah.
that's the whole idea, that we're able to perform those very same services that the $14 billion Tubi company is doing, as well as Netflix or Paramount. Our signal acquisition is no different than theirs. You understand? So that means that we've created a platform, you understand, for our content developers that don't have hope, that we can give them hope. You understand? All they have to do, I have
Yeah.
a non-exclusive
Yeah.
broadcasting licensing agreement, for them to sign. And I'm helping whoever I can. If you want to put your content on the network, it's growing. Next month, I've had this network up for a year now, and I was at 0. Now I
Wow.
have about 9,000. I have 9,000 followers every day.
That's
So I'm,
excellent.
yeah, I'm really grateful,
Wow.
and
That's
you guys, I will always remember you. You are going to be a part of what I'm doing. Now, remember what I said. You're on one channel now. Uh, the block show that you guys have, we're going to open up a channel for it if you guys are willing to get involved, so that
Amazing.
you're on TV also. You understand? And you're on the same platforms that you started from.
Love it. Love it. Yes, definitely. Definitely would love to do
yeah.
that. And I mean, just the fact that you're opening doors for a lot of, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of businesses, is
Yeah.
hats out to you for that, because, not many, especially in the entertainment industry, do that. There's a lot of people that do not do that for others. So
Well,
that's
that's what I'm other-centered. I'm gonna be honest with you. The beauty is watching people smile. I have a little girl here,
Yeah.
a young man that I live with him and his wife here in Atlanta when I'm not in North Carolina, right? She never talked, and she has a colostomy bag. I sit with her every day while I'm doing my work. You never know what a person is going through sometimes, and she can't talk. We just look at each other and laugh and watch what's that movie? Nobody Everybody Hates Raymond.
oh, okay.
That's her show. I get a thrill out of sitting.
Everybody. Everybody hates Chris.
Everybody hates Chris. That's
Oh,
what it is.
Chris.
Everybody
Okay.
hates Chris. I
Okay.
sit there with
Yeah.
her all
'Cause
day.
everybody
I'm
loves
telling you.
Raymond.
Yeah, right. Everybody hates Chris.
Right.
I sit there with her when she comes in from school, you know what I'm saying? And my heart is so compassionate. As I am for her, I am for our industry. I want our industry to continue where Black actors and actresses, all minorities, I should say, we can still keep our cultural going. You understand? And that we can give opportunities that others will not allow us to have the opportunities. So, I was sitting down with Lil Bootie's cousin at Two Chain Studio, right? About a year and a half ago. And what he said to me, he's like, Bootsy will take you to his house. You can eat with him. You can smoke with him. You could drink. You probably can go on tour with him. But what he said is, you got to get your own bag,
Mm,
because most people are looking for someone else to get the bag for them.
true.
So we have to get our own bags. You understand? And trust me, when you do this, if you build it, they'll come. You need an angel on your side. That's how I know, God is good. You need an angel
Oh,
there for people to gravitate to what you're doing. You know, you take like Megan Stallion. I had the Megan Stallion a contract back in 2019. I started her career here in Atlanta. I had the contract with Young Jock and Streets 94.5 radio here in Atlanta. And once she left here, she took off. Look at her now. Look at
Yeah.
her now. Yeah.
Blew up. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want
awesome.
anything.
That's
I don't want
incredible.
anything. It's just to be a
Incredible.
part of making history, guys. We just want to
That's
be a part.
something. That's something. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It really
That's
is.
something. I always my mom always said that. She always says, I don't want nothing, and I get what you're saying when you say that, but being a part of Black history is a huge something, like, and that's what you are, and it deserves to be pointed out, that's what that's worth wanting, more people should want to be at that level of, like, let me be at the startup level, because like I said, when I was looking at the channel, I was like, wow, this is well put together. This
Thank you.
looks like a place where gem can be found. Like, I can see, like if You Got Served was never You Got Served, I can see it being on that network, some like kids coming across it, and then boom, it blows up from there. And I don't know, like, how the contracting, like, goes after that part. Like, say somebody does blow up off of your network, like, how would they be able to uh
Well, Listen,
keep their stuff, and then maybe someone else wants to buy it? Like, how would that work out?
well, the name of the game right now for all AVOD, first thing, it's an AVOD, advertisement video on demand. And you have an SVOD, which is a subscription video on demand, and you have a PPV, right? Pay-per-view events like Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. I always suggest that now, if we have our own leisure original movies and movie series, that's a different story. We can also license it out. It doesn't just go one way. It goes multiple ways because we want to monetize the content on many platforms as possible. So that's why I always say do a non-exclusive broadcast and licensing agreement. Never tie yourself into one person. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes that much longer, and all depending on, like, there are companies, I'm not going to say, they charge people 5,000 plus 800 for the I think it's A&O insurance, for the copyrights, and these people still haven't gotten the money back, haven't gotten a royalty because it's based on a prorate, and a lot of people don't have marketing money. But what we do have, I have a linear channel that's running 24/7. That's the one thing that none of the other platforms have except ABC, CBS, Ted Turner, you know, those linear channels that are now becoming streaming channels. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because of internet and Wi-Fi. But what I figured out was I can create linear channels where I can monetize your content where you're going to get something. So what I'd like to do, and I don't want to, this is not written in stone, as the company makes money, the content developer makes money also. So you don't have to wait a whole year to get paid, you know?
Yeah.
And I market also. I push the content. If you guys look at Instagram and YouTube, my staff, which I just want to shout out to Zone 4 Nut, Tasha, Coley, like my brother, he called me today, Sharif. He has a movie called Decode on the network. We all push together. Do you understand what I'm saying? Of marketing. Like your show, I started marketing that. The numbers are going to go
Yeah.
crazy on the show because
Nice.
if we don't market, if people don't know what you have, not unless you let them know.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's definitely right.
Yeah.
And I want to say, like, just in general, it's like the fact that there is not really any, there aren't really many other networks like yours out there. How do you plan? Like, what are some of the measures that you plan to take to keep your network set apart from the rest, like to ahead of the game?
Well, I keep the content fresh. You understand? I'm always jumping from the past to the future. There's the Jacksons up there. There's the Bobby Browns up there. You know what I'm saying? There's content. There's a lady called Moses that I'm very dear to with Cicely Tyson. Those types of content, we can tell a message. We can entertain by being educated, and then we can entertain the new current actors and actresses that are coming up. That's how I'm looking how this is going to move forward. You understand? Where that we can continue to grow, and we can be. We're gonna be the next Tubi of Atlanta, the next BET of Atlanta. See, before Black Entertainment Television, who I just want to shout out to Rob Johnson also, who founded BET and sold it to Viacom in 2001 for $2 billion. And that's considered an AVOD too, but it was commercial. Viacom bought it. One of my mentors is Clarence Avant. I don't know if you know who Clarence Avant, the Black Godfather. Clarence says in his documentary, if you go and look at it on Netflix, he says that I don't make music, I don't make movies, I make deals. These are legends that have inspired me. In fact, I was on a live the other day with Jason. Who, you guys know who Jason is? He played Eazy-E and he played in
Yeah.
Superfly. He was okay. I was on a live with him, an Instagram live, and he bigged us up. He said, "You know what? You're doing something that most people come in here and ask what they can do, but you're coming here offering a service that you can do with what we're already doing." And I'm talking about, I really felt great about it. And that's where I see us being apart from everybody else. Plus we're running that linear channel with a 72-hour loop 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with marketing.
Wow, that's amazing. And can you go a little, for the people
So
that aren't too keen on the terminology, when you say linear channel, could you kind of describe a little bit more
yeah,
about what exactly that is?
Linear channel is no more than a channel that plays in rotation all day long. You know, if you go to TBS, if you go to
yeah,
CBS,
that makes sense.
it's programmed. It's programmed television. But what makes us different is that we have VODs, video on demands. So if you don't want to look at our live channel, you can always separate and pick out one of the movies that you would like to see. That we have there. As well
Yeah.
is that our signal acquisitioning, we run at 100G. My tech company, we run at 100G, so you don't have to worry about buffering.
Okay.
We have servers here in Atlanta on top of the buildings. We touch the entire world.
Right. Wow.
And then like I said, we have to just persevere. We still have to keep pushing. Every day you get up, you got to have something on your mind that you need to do. And I want to say something. This is very important. You know how you buy a T-shirt, right? And you put the letters on it, whatever it may be, Nike or whatever, right? If you put that T-shirt on, that's the evaluation, what it's worth to you, right? But if you take that very same T-shirt, I call it win and lose. You lose because you chose to put it on. But if you take that very same T-shirt that you made for $2 and you sell it for $20, you just won. Does that make sense? What I'm
Oh yeah,
saying? So
definitely.
I'm not using it for myself. I'm building it, you understand, so that we can continue to sell it to the world, and we can wrap title sponsors around what we're doing, you understand, so that we can monetize all the labor that we've put into it, like right now, you understand, and the years to come.
Love it. Love it. I'm sorry, Grandmaster Bass Monster, I know you were about to ask him a question.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that you're already on the platform of Leisure Network, but where else can people watch Leisure Network at? Can they watch it on
Roku.
YouTube? Can they watch it on Facebook?
Well,
Okay.
I do have a YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel. That channel is to drive the traffic to the actual network. But you can see us on Roku. You can see us on the Amazon Fire Stick. Most devices are ran off of the World Wide Web, like I tell you, internet and Wi-Fi. You have the URL. So you can go to Leisure Network, which is LESURE network.com, you understand, and you can link right into the channel at 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's a live channel that never stops running. Your tablets, your computers, those are the three ways that I find right now, besides sharing other platforms. You know how you have some platforms, they share the channels, they license the channels out. So let's say we do another channel, right? We could build another channel out, or either I could go to ABC or CBS or Fox or Spectrum. I could go to Spectrum and tie into a channel there, create a channel there for leisure. That's later on down the line. It's one step at a time. You understand? You have to be able to work with what you have. You understand? That's the basics, and also it's the way that the world is existing today, far as broadcasting is concerned. And then you build and you add on to those other platforms. Because I'll tell you, when Tubi started, they didn't have but like 17 movies up there. Today, leisure, we have over 130 movies you could look, and I stay on it, keeping it fresh every day of the week. And guess what? It's not a job, because I love it. When you love what you do, I can really say that. I've done several things. I produce records. I've done air conditioning, heating, ventilation. I've worked with hedge fund companies. Broadcasting is something that I wish I had dug into earlier. But I'll tell you, the technology is so fancy, so much advanced now, that it's more user friendly than it was years ago. Even now, with other, I can't say the company names, but some of the companies have the old software. So it's hard. It's not user friendly, But today I can say here at Leisure, if you want to purchase a channel, it's so user friendly. You'll fall in love. You'll fall in love, especially if you're sincere about what you're doing and you're into broadcasting. It could be a music channel, which we're about to build out. Peanut, which is they're about to build out a music channel. It could be a boxing channel. I was talking to Mike Thomas, that's Sugar Ray Leonard's a financial partner. Boxing, food channel. We can build out as many channels as need to be under the Leisure network, or I can build out your own network for you. So that's where I see that we need to go. You understand? Moving forward every day. And I always want to say this, scared money don't make any money. So if you put your money into it and you're sincere, I've been into entertainment my entire life since I was 8 years old, and I'm 63 now. I relate to you guys because you guys do what I do. I never stop. I never stop. Snoop, 817, if you take a look at him, he's an artist. I did a track for him. Phenomenal. I'm talking about there's nothing like older people like myself being able to relate to younger people like you guys. You understand? And you can take everything that I have and use it to forge your way into the future. And this is what I find that is how the world changes and the way it evolves. Atlanta is Black Hollywood. There are people
Really
that
is.
people see what we're doing. Trust me, it's going to get so large with what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be invited into other platforms. Uh, you're going to be like for instance, I see what you guys are doing right now would excel into maybe a national TV like TMZ will buy you. Somebody like that, one of those broadcasting companies, because of the way you're formatted. I love your intros. I love backstage, waiting to come out stage. Everything is professional that you guys do. I see a show like this being sold to one of those major networks. Seriously.
Well,
Coming on at 7 p.m.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's really live. I'm just really glad to hear everything that you're developing. Like I said, the whole project is absolutely, like I can absolutely see it like just taking off and going in its own direction. Like you said, something like BET, something like just for lack of better phrasing, Black entertainment television, just more places like that for people of our culture to put themselves out there and have that opportunity to make it into the quote unquote bigger industry. I think often enough people don't realize just how much things that start small blow up, and like this is something that started small and it's blowing up. You mentioned like selling to a bigger network. When it comes down to selling to a bigger network, sometimes I hear about like how a writer might take a script to a network and then they're like, oh yeah, we like what you want, what you got here, but we want to change a few things. How can somebody avoid like that sort of creative kind of like creative downput? I feel like is what it
That's
is.
all in the contract. You gotta stipulate those terms in the contract.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like it's really smart. I feel like there's like you had mentioned Black Hollywood being ATL. So I feel like as that becomes more of a thing, the smarts behind it need to be revealed. Like how, like the terminology is really what I guess I'm really saying. It's like there's different terms and stuff that our people need to know in order to know what's in a contract, so that they're not being, swindled out of anything, and they understand how to market and sell themselves. What kind of advice would you give to other networkers or other
Well,
people
I'll
trying
tell
to
you
make it
something.
into the industry like that.
There's a lot of static coming from somewhere. I don't know where the static is coming from. Okay, it stopped. I have a daughter, Sabrina Leshore. She's in Lumberton, North Carolina. She's an attorney. We have more Black professionals today than we ever had before. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Listen, guys, don't underestimate who we are. You know what I'm saying? We can do, you have Black surgeons, you have orthopedic surgeons, you have politicians, Obama, we had a Black president. Anything you set your mind to do, you can do it. But the lawyer, as far as what you're saying, sir, they're here. You just got to reach out to them. You got to reach out to them. You got to, like, every lawyer doesn't practice entertainment lawyer. Gerard Anthony, I call him my son. My daughter went to school with him at Campbell Law. He's up in New York. Gerard Anthony, you guys can look him up. He's a Black, young. He works for Afropunk. When they go to New York, when they're in Brooklyn, when they're in Atlanta, when they're in Paris, when they're all over the place. Africa, when they go to Africa, he's the in-house attorney. So you want to get yourself an entertainment attorney. You understand?
Yeah.
That's not going to hurt you. You first have to tell people what you have. Most of them want to help anyway. Most of them are willing to reach out and help, and you don't want to spend all of your money because some people will take your money too. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? I find, what I find? Having someone network inside the network that knows somebody that's going to treat you right, that's going to do the right thing by you. That's how you move forward. Far as your creativity, far as your creativity and whatever it is that you're distributing, so people can't come in and change it.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, because bringing your vision to life is like exactly what artists are trying to do. And it just kind of like sucks when they're watered down because they can't find anybody else that's willing to bring their vision to life. So just to all this artists out there, always like try to find somewhere where you can start out small and allow it to develop a snowball effect. Okay, because it's not just about what you know, as Brother Leshore just said. It's about who you know too. So
But also, what I want to piggyback on what you just said. You know what? I work with Tony Dorsey. Tony Dorsey is the mastering engineer for Jay-Z. He has something called Phantom Mastering. I started working with him in New York. He moved here to Atlanta, then I moved to Atlanta. And he asked me, what kind of money you expect to make? He was DMX mastering engineer. It was, let me see, Swiss Beats, Guru, Jay-Z, and Tony. Didn't Rockefeller look a lot bigger than that? Those are the only 4 people. And Dane.
Yeah, it really did. It looked huge.
It wasn't no big, and it was a woman like yourself that was in charge of developing Rockefeller into what it is today.
And who would have knew? Like if you don't actually research that stuff, you would never know because.
But the one thing, sorry for cutting you off. The one thing about Jay-Z and Beyonce, you understand? Forget about the fame. It's the craft. It's the craft. If you're gonna be a rapper, get your cadence up. You understand? Become more conscious with what you're doing and what's happening around you. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't never condemn anybody's artwork, right? But sometimes you have to get with someone else. That's what I love about Atlanta here. We have, as you see, I'm in the studio now. We have labs going on here. These are labs that are hard. You spoke to Big C today. These guys, I can come up with the tracks, right? And walk out and come back. They got intros. They got tags. They got verses. They got hooks, talk tracks. And that's where you get, like I did a record with Lil Key and Jock before Lil Key died. It's just phenomenal. The talent is here in Atlanta. It's all over the world. But here in Atlanta, the work ethic is phenomenal. And I'm never
That's what they're hearing.
I'm never leaving. I'm staying here. I came from New York. I moved from New York. But here in Atlanta, you have people that are willing to work, just like what we're doing here. I have, like I was saying, Natasha, who helps me promote. She's out of Canada, but she used to live here in Atlanta. Coley, she lives here in Atlanta. Um, my technology company, they're right here in Atlanta. You know, the technology company that I work with, it's not like a tech support. You can actually call me. You understand? When there's a problem, I'll fix it within an hour or less. You know, whatever it might be. The playlist might go down. You know, that's Atlanta for you. That's Atlanta for you, for those that want it. But at the same time, like I said, you got to work on the craft. You know,
Yeah.
I'm talking about with music. I don't even think about the money part of it. I just think about, you know, like 20 years from now, when my grandkids listen back, because I got a grandson named Alex, right? Alex Cameron. He's in North Carolina. He walks around with his chain on his neck, and he's my daughter's son. And he said to me, he said, "Papa," he's like, he says, "I love God, I love Jesus, and I love the angels." He says, "Do you think God will be mad with me because I'm a gangster rapper, Papa?" I was like, "God
Oh,
ain't that way."
that's cute. Oh,
Speaking of gangster rapper, I'm glad that you mentioned that because I was looking at you. Like I said, I've said it a dozen times already. I was looking at your channel, and the first thing that popped up in my head as a great collaboration was, I don't know if you've heard of Could Have Been Records or an individual named Drewski.
I heard of Drew, but I don't really know. Probably if I
So
heard.
okay, so Drewski hosts he hosts a label, a record label called Could Have Been Records. And right now, he's releasing those episodes of Could Have Been Records on YouTube. And Could Have Been Records is basically a surreal TV show that's like, what do you call? I don't want to say virtual reality, but sub reality, like like a reality TV show, like Real
Yes,
Husbands of Hollywood kind
I
of
love that.
thing, and he's doing that for rappers and entertainers. And I was watching a couple episodes, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious. You can really like. He started out as a prank channel, and now this is what he's doing. He's doing that, and like the production on it looks like it's a network like television show sort of thing. So I was just thinking that would be a great fit for what you already got going. I don't know how that works out with y'all
This is
collaborating
how
and
we would
stuff.
do this. Check it out. This is
Yeah,
how we
tell
would
us
do
about
this.
that.
You know how people are watching a channel, right? And they get tired of the channel, so they'll go somewhere else. What we will do is we're going to build out so many channels, right? That you be able to go back and forth. You know, we can bounce off each other. Let's say you guys had a channel with me, right? I could talk about on the network, on the Leisure Network, right? What's happened on the Block Show. Block Show it could bounce back and forth. So whoever's there, your audience becomes mine, my audience becomes yours, and that's how they built the Viacom with MTV and BET that you see when they do what they call corporate advertising. You might have a Vera Wang shoe, but you'll see it in Macy's and you'll see it in Kohl's also in the same advertisement.
yeah, cross promotion for sure.
That's where we're at right now.
Yeah,
Major.
that young man, that's somebody I think if y'all could get in touch with each other, y'all both would help each other out for sure.
Hey,
Uh,
listen,
he's
my phone number
definitely
is open.
coming up, huh?
My phone is open. You guys have my number. Like, I'm approachable. I'm gonna always remain approachable.
For sure, for sure. And
Yeah, I'll
that's
see.
that's
I'll see what I can do to see if I can put your name out there, in the comment section, and kind of just because I would love to see that. Like I said, I was looking through your library of stuff, and it looks like you already got episodic content too. So, and that's what he's developing, and I was just like, man, that would be a great fit. You're like, yeah, he's throwing his stuff on YouTube, but YouTube is owned by, and I ain't trying to be racist, but it's owned by some white guys. It would be dope if he was,
Yes,
being
yes,
sponsored by some black people, like that would be really cool because it's definitely black content and it's so funny. It's such a good time to watch.
and you know the crazy thing that you're saying over here, you can see the analytics. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to hide. You understand? There's going to be a time when we start to generate money that we can actually sponsor, get behind a lot of these shows, because everyone has a family, not have a family, but they need a roof over their head, they need food in their stomach, they need clothing on their back, right? I'm looking at the primary things, like you said over at YouTube, the money that they make every year. I'm quite sure they take care of a lot. Like Mr. Beast, I was watching that the other day. This guy, I don't know how he was able to do it. I'm not mad at him. He did it. You understand? The royalties that he's getting from YouTube, I can imagine the money YouTube is making themselves off of him.
Right. Yeah. He's making a killing right now for that. And he got in early. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
But what I
and
feel is,
that's
yeah,
what Could Have
so
Been Records is about.
what
Saying
we can do.
that's what Could Have Been Records is about. Could Have Been Records is like there he's exposing what the industry does with people in a funny way.
Okay.
If you're not paying attention, you'll just see it as comedy, but it's satire comedy. You know,
Right. It has
so
a
it's
message.
like yeah. So like basically, he sells a contract to the rappers, and he's letting them know like we take it 99%, and you only get 1%. But they're all down for it though. Like they're happy to do it. It's a good time.
Well, you know what? What we're doing now, including yourself, we're opening up new doors by the grace of God. We're opening up new doors for our youngsters to have hope. We can be the dream makers. Like I said, this is Black Hollywood. Let's be the dream makers, guys. Have a purpose every day when you get up, regardless. Whatever else you have to do. Let's stay grind. I call it let's stay grind and hungry. You understand? Prior proper prior proper planning prevents piss poor performance. So there are development stages that we're going to have to work through. You understand? But listen, long as we did, the music never left you. If you ever left the music or you ever left broadcasting, when you get there, it's still there. So I'd like to say, why leave? Let's just stay. Let's just stay. Just like with Byron Allen, just like a Rob Johnson at BET. He also had the All Black Network. I don't know if you guys knew it. He sold that in 2015 for $300 million, which is the same as leaving.
I was upset about that sale, but I understand it. It's a business move. But
Yeah, that's definitely a business move we see happen often, where companies get absorbed by bigger companies. But my thing is, if you're like able to like, let's look at Cartoon Network for instance. Cartoon Network was Cartoon Network, and then they also were Boomerang, but these were two different channels. I could watch Boomerang and then go watch Cartoon Network. So like having BET absorb All Black Network, is that what it was called?
No. The having not BET, uh the All Black Network. Who bought that? Who bought that? I can't. I just said it. Who he sold it to? I don't know. It's one of the conglomerates he sold it to. But he,
Mhm.
what I'm saying, he could have. He. I don't know. Like you said, it was a business move. It doesn't. It's not really important who he sold it to.
right.
Yeah.
The All Black Network, who he sold it to. It's just not running the way that it could be running. And that's politics. I try to stay out of the
Mm,
politics. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
mm.
It
I
gets
have,
it gets ugly when you get politics involved with
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Real
You have to
ugly.
be careful what you say, man. The politics. You really have to be careful what you say. But
Yeah, politics definitely is not going anywhere. So just being able to influence and understand what's going on in there is also a part of the game uh to developing, like you want to be able to have that know-how because it's not going anywhere. Like there's politics in everything that we have to deal with. So just being able to navigate that realm and those relationships is a part of being, that person, gotta be able to do that. I was just gonna say, like, the when a company absorbs another company, though, it sort of discontinues all that work that, like, if like I was saying, if Cartoon Network absorbed Boomerang instead of allowing and didn't allow Boomerang to continue to produce content, then we wouldn't have Boomerang. We would just have Cartoon Network. You get where I'm coming from? And you wouldn't have these
What
two
happens is these
channels.
people get pink slips. They get pink slips, bro.
See,
And it's really sad because the people that were on staff that they use, sometimes they feel that they can bring in someone else, but then you see the results is in the evidence of the final playout. When you look at the takeover, is the content still consistent with what it was before it was bought by the conglomerate?
Yeah, you're right. And speak about, because you kind of touched base on it, but then we went a different direction. But I want to go kind of back on it. But like, um, I'm just curious, like as far as some of the other projects you're working on, because you mentioned that you do a lot of things. You know, you're a music producer. You know, you're very skilled in different areas. So as far as projects that you have coming up, could you kind of tell us about some of the projects you have coming up, whether it's for Leisure Network or other areas that you've been working out of?
Yeah, we have 30311, which is a new show here in Atlanta that's being filmed as I talk to you right now. That's going to be original Leisure original movie series. We have several things that are going on. I don't want to say what they are yet, but the main thing is it's about having fresh content because there are content developers all over the place. You know, premiering them while you work on your own original movie series. You know, that's what I find that works. I'm not trying to invent the wheel. I'm just trying to reinvent the wheel. You know, as far as anything new, I make music every day. I make new music every day. So that's the least of my problems. You know, I've been blessed with that ability, you know, ever since the Lendro. So what I am working forward on right now is possibly the music channel. I'm looking for a Black news channel as well to add on to what we're doing. I'm looking for a Christian channel. You know, I'm looking at a Christian channel. I'm looking for a health channel, you know, because we suffer as Black people. Even myself, I suffer from high blood pressure. So I'm on hydrochlorothiazide, lorastatin, you know, learning how to take care of ourselves better. Health is important, you know, what to eat, what not to eat, you know, and diabetes. Those are the things that I find that it's about entertainment, but then it's about, you know, personal development also, you know, and well-being and well-care of oneself, you know. And I think we can, our lifespans could last a lot longer, you know, if we get a better education about living, how we supposed to live. It could just expound. It could just continue out the amount of channels that even what you guys have there could be a channel on the network. You know what I'm saying? Once we start to reach millions of people, that every week, every month, you know, that the sponsorship would take care of you. You know, you figure at 80,000 followers a day, believe it or not, it brings you $500,000 a month in sponsorship revenue. See, things like that, a lot of people don't know about, you know. But I work with people that do this every day. So, but the work is in starting where we're at right now. You know, what you put into it, by the grace of God, is what you're going to get out of it. You know, and I always said that people need a pill to figure out what they're going to do the next day, to stay focused, a focus pill. You know, it's not a one-day journey. It's a lifetime journey. You understand? And at the end, you know, you can look back and see the work that you've done. Like I was saying, Clarence and Vaughn. Think about the people that have passed on, you know, in the industry. Cicely Tyson. Please, everybody, go look at A Woman Named Moses. It's so important about the Underground Railroad. You know, in order to know your history, you understand, let you know where you're at now. Before they had a store, a general store that you go to where you just had flour, butter, milk, you know, whatever. Today you go to Walmart, it's everything there. So you get bombarded. You understand, with the mass production that's all around you. So what we need to do is go back in history and see where we're at, where we were at, our ancestors are at, and bring it to the present now so that kids can know the importance of educating themselves. Some people are not good for school. I'll be honest with you. Some people can work better doing things as carpentry. Everybody can't be stars. You know, some people are carpenters. Some people are attorneys. Some people are accountants. You understand? This thing here wasn't meant for everybody, but you have to realize what you can do, whether it's working. If it's not working, you can always continue doing it. You understand? But figure out a way to monetize so you can take care of yourself and your family. You know, to be emotional, mature adult. That's what life is all about: being an emotional, mature adult, and keep persevering. You know, and perception is everything. You know, look at Ken, look at Jock, and all of them. They didn't start there. They started from somewhere, but they didn't start there. You know,
Right.
and these people are approachable that I'm around here in Atlanta. You know, you have 2 Chainz, Bootsy, all of them. They are approachable. Scrap, they're all there. You know, Jason, I think he's down in Texas now, but he's approachable. You know, and these people are willing to share the grind. You know, what I call grind hungry, to how they got to where they are. But it all has to start somewhere, like we're here today talking. And I'm hoping that this message will go out to somebody, you understand, that has some type of hope, some type of desire to be somebody, you understand, to contribute to society, to contribute to our Black community, you understand, to be a part of the growing, you know.
Sure.
Because you got some people that are multi-talented. They can do multiple things, you know, but 1,000% of nothing is nothing, you know.
Right.
If you put something in, I promise you something will come out. You put something in, I promise you something will come out, even if it's nothing more than wisdom to know not to do the same thing you did before once again. So everything is learning. Everything is teaching. Everything gets you to where you're at, you understand, and to get you further before you transition. You know, and
Most definitely.
you know, there's a dash on that tombstone from the beginning, what you did in between, and at the end. Now the rest is up to you, you know, what you want to do with your life, you know, and how you want to go about it. Television, music is my life. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going.
Yes, most definitely. I like that. And real quick before we close it out, because I know you're a busy man, but I wanted to ask, like, what are some things that you do to keep yourself focused? Because you mentioned focus, and I'm just curious as to, like, you know, mentality wise, like, you know, what are some daily practices that you partake in to help keep yourself focused?
First thing I want to say this. I don't drug. I don't drink. I stay focused. You know, if I start a project, when I get up in the morning, I pretty much know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. You know, I know if I have to go to the doctor. I know if I have to upload new content. You have to stay focused about what you're going to do the next day. Like it's building a house. Let me explain the analogy. When you, as an interior decorator, you don't know how to build a house. I mean, you don't know how to design a house. So you design the first room, right? Once you design the first room, now you can design many rooms. Now, let me give you another analogy to close it out with. A diamond is an ugly rock. If you saw it in the ground, you'd probably walk over it. But every time you cut it, it's called a facet. The more cuts you put in that diamond, the more beautiful it becomes and the more valuable. And you can also create your own evaluation of what it's worth, right to the millions. That's the focus. The focus on creating a diamond. Pressure does one or two things. It either busts a pipe or make a diamond. But if you put them cuts in the diamond every day, that's what got us to where we're at now talking. You know, I try to make a facet every day. I try to make a cut in my life every day, you know, to make that diamond more attractive, you know, more desirable. You understand?
I love that analogy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the focus.
Okay. Love it.
Yeah,
Well,
deep.
thank you so much. And you know, again, know you're a busy man. Before we close it out, if you could tell everyone again how to, you know, how to watch Leisure Network and how to follow you as well, how to contact you.
You can follow me at first thing. It's LESURE network.com. That's our URL. You can see us on Roku. You can see us on Amazon Fire Stick. You can also see us on YouTube, Leisure Network YouTube. You can also visit us at Leisure Network Instagram, Leisure Network Twitter. Leisure Network Facebook, Leisure Network TikTok, Leisure Network LinkedIn. You can reach us on one of those platforms. We're out there. We're making ourselves aware every day. Thank you for having me.
And thank you so much. We really have enjoyed having you on the show, and we will definitely stay in touch and continue to network with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have a great